Before departure, there's always a pause. Nothing official, just time. The cab is already isolated from the rest of the train. Different sounds, different priorities. Once the door is closed, the driver is alone with the machine. This is the working end of the train. Everything here has a function. The layout reflects its era, analogue, mechanical and deliberate. Controls are spaced, labelled and designed to be operated by feel. On the right hand side sits the traction controller with its multiple notches for power selection. Each notch corresponds to a stepped increase in traction motor effort. On the left hand side is the independent brake handle. It governs the train's air brake system. Between them, drivers monitor a bank of analogue gauges. Brake pipe pressure, main reservoir pressure, ammeters showing current draw, and the voltmeter indicating the overhead supply state. These instruments provide a real-time mechanical feedback without the digital menus found on modern trains. Outside, the passengers board, mostly oblivious to the driver's movements in the cab. Let's step aboard and back to the recent past. When the V-sets entered service in the early 1970s, they were the first air-conditioned cars in Australia according to the ComEng advertising, with comfortable reversible seating, fluorescent lighting, picture windows, generous luggage space, and ice water on tap. Their interiors reflected the design language of the time: laminated wood grain panelling, warm tones, and seating finished in darker materials typical of the era. They were designed for long intercity journeys where comfort over distance mattered more than rapid passenger turnover. Although passengers did complain of the itchy material on the seats. Through the mid to late 1980s, the V-sets underwent interior changes as part of the ongoing refurbishment programs. Seating was updated to green vinyl, and lighter colours like yellow were introduced over the original timber finishes. The structure remained largely the same, but the atmosphere shifted to match contemporary expectations. For many passengers, this became the interior they remembered best. The setting for routine travel, weekends away, and daily commutes along the coast and through the mountains. The most recent refurbishment, introduced in the 2010s, brought the purple or bush plum interior scheme. Carpeted floors, carpeted lower wall panels and matching seat fabrics. Unusual by modern standards, but distinctive and immediately recognisable as V-set. As these trains reach the end of their service life, this interior has become as much a part of their identity as the stainless steel bodies outside. The interior is where the experience is actually felt by the passengers. Material worn smooth over decades. Design choices that reflected their time. These are the details that quietly disappear once the fleet is gone. Back to today. Let's take a tour of the train in the last months of operation. As we walk into the vestibule, I'm reminded of a story from my past. It was the early 80s, and a younger Barry wanted a drink from the iced water dispenser in the vestibule, more for the novelty rather than the drink itself. After pulling the wax cup from the dispenser, I was greeted by cigarette butts and a crushed tab can littering the sink. I soon changed my mind for that drink. It was, and is, that people often smoked in the vestibule and between carriages on the long trips where smoking was not allowed. I'd love to hear any memories you have of any VSET trips from your past in the comments below.
Purple seats worn soft with time, carpeted walls that quieted our minds, morning light through fogged up glass, stations drifting by too fast, thermos steam and folded news, 1,000 lives in different shoes. You didn't ask where we were going, you just hummed and rolled along. Stainless steel in the afternoon sun, 55 years, never done, from first trains out to the last ride home. You carried us when we felt alone. You weren't fancy, you weren't new, but every day you pulled us through.
Drives the trains falling with Barry.